Hey guys, Shabbat Shalom from Kiryat Shmona. I'm here with Marco Moreno, our FAI Director, Israel. We're here on a beautiful overlook, ordinarily a very busy, I'm sure, overlook, but today not a lot going on here in Kiryat Shmona below us and in these hills behind us. So give us an update on the situation here, Marco.
Yeah, Shabbat Shalom, guys. As you said, Jeff, we are in Kiryat Shmona, which is like one of the biggest northern cities that was evacuated in this war, the Gaza war. If you see, no one is here. Like on top over there, it's Lebanon, behind the hills, all the way to the right. So we are entering fifth week of the war, and we are summarizing 2 weeks of the ground invasion. Looks like the army is doing a good job in Gaza, taking it easy, slowly. And now there is reports that he's coming to surrounding the hospitals, which are the main Hamas headquarters. They're doing a good job. I don't know what will happen in the next few days, if the army will go into the hospitals, Shifa, the Indonesia, there's a lot of hospitals, which is like they call it like their security square.
Yeah.
Which is hospital, which is crazy. Everything underneath the hospital, it's headquarters and terrorists and missiles. And in the north, it's very intense. Hezbollah is like playing, keeping it on low fire, but the volume can increase in a second. And there is a lot of frustration in the Israeli public here in the north regarding Hezbollah. People are saying we're not going to go back home to Metula or to Kiryat Shmona if Hezbollah will stay here on the border.
Yeah, if you go just across this top of this hill and this ridge line, you get to the border and Hezbollah is just...
Yeah.
I mean, so a lot of people I've talked to just sitting and listening are saying they have to be pushed back.
True. True. And I don't know what will happen, but I'm assuming there will be a solution, or if it will be a military one or a political one, but there will be a solution. Hezbollah cannot stay on the border. So that means that Israel will be in the phase of war all around for a couple of months.
Yeah.
For a couple of months.
Let's talk a minute about relief, what we're doing right now. It seems to me, just from kind of monitoring what we're doing and being here, that, you can't completely win this. We want to meet the needs as people are telling us what they are, but I'll read a comment that says, well, why aren't you providing this? Or why are you providing that? And so talk about like how we are figuring out what the needs are.
One of the challenges in a war is to provide what really is needed. Because think about it, for our people back home, our audience, they don't care. They care about Israel and probably will do whatever we will tell them. That's not how we operate because of integrity. Like we want exactly to know what's going on here, what the needs are, so we are working with the authorities. Because if you will not work with the authorities, you will get 1,000 needs. Each one, I need that, and I need a vest, and I need a helmet, and I need cigarettes, and I need food, and I need... You're never done. So we are trying to work with the authorities if we are taking care of the population, and we are working with the army if we are providing the army. So in that way, and that's the message back home for our people, is whatever you guys give, you give to the right need. A legit one, not just, everybody feel happy because we did that. So what we are doing now is mainly in the bomb shelter campaign. So FAI did bomb shelter campaign for 2 years ago.
Right.
Like we did a lot of rebuilding bomb shelters, preparing them, by the way, to these days.
We've been saying this for a long time. There's a day coming where we'll need
And
these.
here we are in those days. And now we entered the second phase of the bomb shelter, to equip them for long staying. Again, with the needs of the authorities. It's not something we thought about, honestly. They told us, listen, we're going to provide food to the bomb shelter. We need a refrigerator. We need something to heat the food. If not, what will happen, that the city, for example, the city municipality will provide food and then everybody will throw it away in trash and garbage. And TV screens, because kids wants to see what's going on. People all wants to see what's going on, and all this kind of stuff. So we are FAI Israel. In the end, if I make it simple, it's a ministry operating on the ground, very dynamic, very flexible.
Right.
The joystick is very light. We can shift immediately from this phase to that phase. Why? We have bodies here on the ground.
Yeah.
True, we are an organization based in the US, but we have a big representatives even in Israel, which allows us to be very, very flexible.
Yeah. I think that's a really important point, the flexibility, the ability to shift on a dime, because it is so dynamic, the needs change. And I'm coming from the outside and spending a few days with you guys, extremely proud of the way in which our team here is adapting to the situation. Maybe it's providing the stuff we're providing in bomb shelters, or maybe it's just rolling up in a trailer and making coffee and some donuts for soldiers, just, giving them a place to charge their cell phones, just sitting with them and allowing them to speak and share their hearts for a bit. I've sat around, campfires and kitchen tables and in the back of a tailgate of a car listening for hours, people needing to process all this has meant to them. And so some of what we provide isn't, in material.
True.
It's you guys being here and staying here as best as you can to listen and to just, for you, where else are you going to go?
Yeah.
But I think for us, for our team, some of the folks that don't have to be here, just the fact that they're here is such a huge statement.
I totally agree. And I think when the locals are looking at it, the Israelis, if it's Susan, if it's Devin, if it's the rest, they say, they can grab their American passport and fly out.
Yeah.
They don't have to stay here in these sirens and in this bombing and the unknown. Why?
Yeah.
Which I think it's a very, very, very important message. Even when we go to distribute in bomb shelters, I'm emphasizing it. We are a team that lives here. It's not like they are coming and visit and they go back.
Yeah.
It's the actual bodies on the ground. Which will lead us to another thought. Me and you, we spoke about it. What will be the next thing?
Yeah, because there's going to come a point in time where this situation, we hope and pray it'll end soon, but whenever it ends, there's a tomorrow.
Yeah. So.
And how do we help in the long term?
First of all, I need people to understand Israeli public is broken.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be mistaken. What we went through October 7, it's something we need to process and grieve and understand and cry. We didn't have the chance because we immediately went into a war phase. Mm-hmm. So everybody got united because we are in war. But once the war will end, and like every war ends one day, the Israeli public will be grief, will be sad, will ask questions, very difficult questions. Why did it happen? How come 10 hours, 12 hours in surrounding Gaza, the army didn't came? Can we go back to the north? All these questions will be asked. So for all of you guys knowing Israel, it will not be the Israel you know. It will be something else. And it will be a political blast. Everything will change here. I don't know who will be. Things, a lot of moving parts. And this is what, and we talked about it, Jeff, what FAI will do.
Yeah.
What should we do? What will be, if I will give you a title, FAI, what will be FAI after the war in Israel? How it would look like. And I think it should look like that something among FAI is standing with the communities in Israel. If it's in the north, if it's in the south. How it would look like, there's many faces of it.
Right.
What we are doing now, and that's the message back home, is we are entering a phase of learning and defining this thing with the authorities, if it's the local municipalities or if it's the others, telling them, okay, guys, let's think for the day after the war.
Right.
Communities will go back. What do you think will be the needs?
Right. And in the same way that, in a relief situation, if somebody's hungry and they say, we could use some food, we provide the food
Yeah.
to feed them, and we provide a place for them to be safe as best as we can. But we don't necessarily come in and tell them what they need. We come in and we talk and we listen and we hear from them. In the same way in the development, the long-term side, we need to go into these communities and hear from them and understand what their needs are. It might change, as you said about flexibility, community to community. It's
For
not
sure.
a simple formula we can just apply everywhere.
And I don't know if they know it. By
Right,
the way.
right.
But they need to go through this process by themselves. They don't know what they need. But the message is we will be with them in the process.
Yeah.
That means, don't be mistaken, I'm not talking about now we're going to open, I don't know, a coffee shop. No, I'm talking bodies. Our volunteers will come here and we will find, tailor-made each community what we need.
Yeah.
It's a big, big campaign. Don't be mistaken. Guys, it's a big campaign and we are taking it very seriously in FAI. Slowly and in a serious way to understand what their needs are and then stand with this Metula community.
Yeah.
It's not Kiryat Shmona community, which is not Be'eri community surrounding Gaza. It's different people, different views.
Yeah.
It's a lot of moving parts. But the message is, and that's what you and I agreed on, is that we are standing with you. And always this question is raised, what does it mean to stand with Israel?
Right.
How it looks like on the ground, practical level. So for me, standing with Israel after the war, it will be standing with the needs of the civilians community that will be broken. I have no doubt. Will be totally broken. Totally broken.
Can I ask you kind of a personal question? A friend of mine reminded me of a Golda Meir quote. I can't give you the quote exactly, but she said something like during wartime to the effect of, speaking to the enemies of Israel, we can, when war is over, we can perhaps come to the place to forgive you for killing our sons, but we will find it very difficult or impossible to forgive you for forcing us to kill your sons. And the way that peace will come will be when you love your children more than you hate ours.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. I think, I don't know if people back home knows that, but all the surrounding Gaza kibbutzim and villages are very radical left-wing in Israel.
Yeah.
And all those kibbutzim was leading the camp of talking with the Palestinians, helping the Palestinians, taking care of them. And there is awakeness there.
Yeah.
Like I heard a mother said, yeah, we have to kill all the Palestinian children. I don't care. Kill them all. Because her kids were killed and her husband was kidnapped. It's a big crisis.
Yeah.
It's a big, huge crisis.
Which I think creates an opportunity for an organization like ours to be able to, we're here, FAI, because we feel like we're compelled to, we understand, or we feel like we understand something about the love of God, so we want to come in to demonstrate that. And I get it when somebody's been struck so deeply, how the feeling might be, to go completely to the other side, to say, take everything out. And for us to be able to come in and stand in these places, I think sometimes that communicates a deep love. Like, that's the only thing that people say to us, like, why are you here? I'm like, well, we want to stand with you. And they're like, man, that hits my heart. Maybe that's part of our role.
Yeah, and another thing that which we should take under consideration is we might find ourselves, FAI, working in Gaza.
Yeah.
Because the day after the war, Gaza, it's a big thing. Probably, and I'm saying it because I know what's going on behind the scenes with the army. Who will take care of those 2 million people?
Yeah.
And NGOs probably will get a lot of, work to do there.
Yeah.
So FAI also will shift like we did in Syria.
We're not saying it, but it'd be nice, maybe, a good neighbor 2.0.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
So, I know we're not here to predict how this goes, but if this current phase lasts for many, many months, what do we need to do to be prepared to care for this community long term? In the relief side, not the not when people come back in, but
yeah.
how do we care? I mean,
Again, we are very flexible because the needs are changing from a week to a week, a month to a month. What we are doing now today, let's say the bomb shelter campaign, equipment, what we are giving them, probably it can be in a month irrelevant, and there will be another need. That's the message I have for folks back home. We just need the resource because we have the team here. We know what to do. We are very flexible. We talk with the authorities. We talk with the army. They are telling us what they need. We are processing it. We are taking a decision and we go ahead.
yeah,
So I don't know what will be. I'm telling you, my feeling is that until we are talking war situation in Israel, all the way to Passover, like that's April next year.
yeah,
Don't be mistaken. Once it's done in Gaza, you will see everything is shifted to the north. And then Israel will decide to launch the war, Hezbollah, that will not stay. What we are doing now on this hill overlooking Kiryat Shmona probably will not be possible in a month. Also something to think about our teams that are located here, we have to shift them also all over Israel because, about that.
yeah. That was my next question. Do you feel like our team here has the yes, we're flexible, but do we have the mobility if the need arises that we could pick up what we're doing and maybe be somewhere in the center or in the south, be it for a day or a week or whatever the needs are?
Yeah, we are talking about the team. We are talking about it. Like we have a plan. They have a bag, emergency bag. They know, in an emergency situation like tomorrow, a war will start here. Bags on the car, and we go to the next location, probably in the center. Then we adjust and work from there, because in the end things can be very complicated here. But we're always thinking about it. I ask the girls, you want to leave? Like, no. What's amazing is that always my Israeli friends, when they meet the girls, I mean Susan and Devin here, say, well, how brave they are. They are not afraid. And I tell them, listen, if you have faith, people of faith are not afraid.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. Our ladies and our team, everybody that works here, it's people we care about it. It's it's a family. It's a family, and we are actually doing good stuff. We're actually doing good stuff. We get a lot of, when we come and help people say thank you, and they don't understand what's going on. Americans and Israelis, and looking weird for them, and I'm proud of it. I think FAI is, it's a ministry that I'm related and part of it for 7 years, and I think and it was small when we joined on board. I was told, Dalton, if you take all FAI stuff, you put it in an SUV, it's done.
A single Uber,
and it's done. And to see it grow, and a lot of support and affection and people care, because I think we are doing a good job. I think we are really good representative of faith and love for Jesus in Israel. People, I think it's very important, and that's my message for our folks back home, that you have a good representatives here in Israel, on all ground.
One of the things that strikes me is how, even as we've been sitting here, we've heard bombs, we've heard rockets in the background over the hills, that there's a war going on, but there's also, strangely, a sense of normalcy, like sitting with your family, enjoying a Shabbat meal. Knowing that a siren could go off at any minute, but not just suspending all things. How do you get by? How do you manage your own heart and emotions, knowing that, I've got to raise my children, I've got to love my wife, I've got to pay my bills, I've got to eat dinner, but at the same time, tonight could be a bad night.
Yeah, you think about it. Everyone is taking it to his place. I always think, okay, let's see if we are ready for the next phase, when things will get, escalate here in the north. And where do we go? You ask yourself, where do I go? Where do I stay? I have my father to take care of. I have the team. I have Shira, she's small. My kids in the army. It's all
Yeah.
Now, siren
Siren.
in Kiryat Shmona. You hearing the siren?
Yeah, I see the.
Dang.
Yeah.
Hear it now.
Yeah. So
This is kind of answering my question.
now a rocket fell in Kiryat Shmona, just now. So here, that actually is answering your question.
Well, I think if ever we needed an answer to the question, there you have.
Yeah. So we need to go find a shelter.
Well, guys, I don't think we could have gotten a more direct and immediate answer to the question that I was asking you about life here. We had to stop for a second there, and so we're going to wrap up here and get off this hill. But any closing thoughts?
For the Christian pro-Israel or the Christian community, it's exactly the right time to show that you stand with Israel.
Yeah.
That's the exact time, because now all the international are with Israel, but it will end pretty quickly. And then what I think when Israel will look right and left, then she will see who is standing with her,
Yeah.
and that will be the Christians.
I had Shabbat dinner last night with some friends down in Kfar Saba, and one of them was telling me that a friend of hers asked her, where are the Christians now? The evangelicals that come here and pack the tour buses, and where are they now? It feels to the Jewish communities here maybe like the Christians who have been oftentimes loud and proud to be here in the land have been somewhat quiet. And I think it's time for us to speak up and to
we are here.
We're here.
We are here.
We're here. And I wanted to say on behalf of FAI, thank you for your support, your faithful support. Those of you who give and give and give again, thank you so much. Those of you who are there's been a sea of you who've jumped on board and provided support for us during this time. We deeply appreciate it. I promise you that everything you give is coming here. You give $1, we're spending $1 here, and we'll continue to do so as long as we're able and as long as the needs are here. And so, guys, thank you, Marco. Thank you to the team that's here. Keep safe. Keep your heads down. Keep doing good work.